What is up, Shrewdness listeners? It is great to see you here on the 18th or thereabouts of November, heading into the home stretch of the fantasy season. Hopefully, you still have your head. One of us here still does. We'll leave that to later. But it was a very entertaining week. Not so entertaining if you're a Chiefs fan like us, but the games were entertaining still, and some really interesting fantasy performances, which we'll break down and get into. We're also going to give you some direction about how to go down the home stretch here, because it truly is the home stretch. If you're in it now, you're getting to see some super teams that are forming.
Yep.
But before we dive into it and I toss it on over to Dex, let me give you a second to do something right now, which is hit the subscribe button. If you're listening, hit that subscribe button right now. We'd really appreciate it.
We're so close
Follow
to
us.
100.
We're so close. We're so close. Hit that subscribe button. If you're on if you're on social media at all, on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, please follow us. We'd appreciate that. It helps us out a lot. And don't forget to check out our website. Guys, something happened. What evidently happened was
capitalism.
We brought so much traffic to the podcastpage.io via the Shrewdness at podcastpage.io.
Great job, listeners. Great job.
Excellent job. That the revenue was through the roof for the podcast page, folks. And so they decided to sell high, smartly so.
Yeah.
And they sold to beam.ly. Yeah, it's weird. I'm not going to lie. But we are now at the shrewdness.beam.ly. But if you still put in the shrewdness.podcastpage.io, it'll go there as well. But the new one is the shrewdness.beam.ly. So check that out. You can find all the resources there, find our gambling picks, and you can also go back and listen to any old episodes that you want to listen to. So that's it for the plug. Please do that and forward to a friend. And now let's dive into the week that was with Dex.
Yes. So there's some ugly performances, almost as ugly as my beautiful stash. But hopefully everyone out there doing No Shave November is having a great time getting a furry lip. Because, man, I love it every single year. It's a blast. But let's go into some of the scarier performances from this past week. We'll just hit right off the bat. So Kansas City, Denver. I know all the Kansas City haters out there are like, we've been waiting for this day for a long time. Because the Chiefs, at the midpoint of the season, a little past, 5-5.
Oof.
Not what anyone really expected after a dozen straight years of routing the AFC West.
Yep.
And it wasn't like they got destroyed. That's what makes it even worse. We kind of had the go-ahead touchdown that we thought, and the defense just continued to play well, but not in the situations we needed, like a 3rd and 15 completed by Cortland Sutton. That really, really, really hurt. And when that play happened, I'm like, that could kill us.
That was a huge one.
Yep. So takeaways from KC Denver. Do you still believe that KC is a playoff contender? And on the flip side, do you truly believe in Denver being a playoff contender? Like for the whole thing? I want to get you guys' opinions. I have my own thoughts, but
Go ahead, Prue, and then I'll jump in.
I think the only reason Denver is a playoff contender is Sean Payton. I don't really trust in the team, but they have a great coach, and he's pulled out several close games this year, and you can't get lucky that many times. Yeah, you can't get lucky that many times. So I think it's a coaching edge that they've figured out this year.
Yeah,
and they're figuring out ways to win. So
he did a great job, to your point, Prue, with managing the clock at the end of that game. They sucked every last second, and it very much intended to do that, to not give Mahomes one single chance to beat him. And that's the way you beat the Chiefs. You don't give Mahomes the ball with 13 seconds.
Yeah.
So he didn't give him the ball at all. And I agree with you on that. Overall, I forwarded the Shrewdness crew some stats. Here's the crazy part. If you look at the stats for the Chiefs last year and this year, they're almost exactly the same. Actually, a little better this year on all the key metrics. Last year they were 9-1. This year they're 5-5. So dims to breaks, right? This is how stuff plays out in the NFL. It just shows you how little margin for error there is in the NFL. So you cannot have one mistake. Mahomes had a mistake. He threw a pick in the red zone. They should have had 3 out of that. That changed the game. immensely. And in a game that's that close against a division rival, that made the difference. So, it's that close in the NFL now.
If you think back to last year too, the Chiefs should not have been 9-1, right? I mean,
That's
they had
exactly right.
so much luck on their side in a few of those games, the block field goal and the toe on the line in the very first game. That, I mean, they could have easily started 0-2 instead of 2-0, and
for sure.
so, I mean, it is a little concerning that they have better stats this year and have lost 4 more games. But like you said, it's
evens out.
There's zero margin for error in the NFL.
Totally.
All right. And then on the flip side, Denver. Do you believe in them when they make the playoffs, as they look like they're well on their way to doing? Are they going to make noise, or are they going to be a one and done? Pruitt, what do you think? You've seen them play.
I don't know. I mean,
That's hard
defense
to
wins
say, isn't it?
championship.
Yeah.
Defense wins championships. It's really hard to discount them out too much. And Bo Nix makes plays. He makes some bonehead plays, but he makes some good plays too. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like Chisholm's fantasy team, right? They just kind of they hang around.
La cucaracha, la cucaracha.
They look like they're dead, and then all of a sudden they spring to life and they just hang around. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I hate to see KC fall from grace here a little bit, but Denver's got a good team this year, and they could make a run in the playoffs with that defense.
It's hard for me to objectively evaluate the Denver Broncos. I have so much hate in my heart for them. But
Yes.
But I think the fact that I had one of my Broncos friends send me a text at the end of the game, it was just the guy with a little smiley face. And I was like, 2 out of 17 isn't bad. That's what I said. 2 out of 17 is not bad. And that's how many times the Broncos have beaten us in the last 17 games. It's twice. So, I'm not ready to hand the mantle over yet. I don't think, to Pruitt's point, I think they're a very good team, and I think their defense is championship caliber, but I don't think their offense is consistent enough to win enough games in the playoffs. So I don't think they're going to make it to the Super Bowl. I think Bo Nix is going to lay a turd somewhere along the way there, and J.K. Dobbins is out for the year now, so you're going to be relying on a rookie running back, and it's like, I don't know about that. One interesting thing I saw, and this is going to be interesting from a fantasy perspective too, if I am the Broncos, this could be an interesting acquisition. I just saw is now eligible Odell Beckham Jr., who could be a really interesting addition to roster? No, he's a free agent.
Okay,
so
I was going to say, I don't remember being signed.
He could be one who might be a good veteran presence for a super young team on offense. I could see that be an interesting fit, and one that I saw floated today. But as they stand, I think they're too flawed to win the Super Bowl. I will give them credit. They are a very good team this year, and I agree, Pruitt. Their coach is really good, and he's done a really good job managing them. Dex?
My coworker sent me a meme that's, I think, nails this thing. A Johnny Depp, so Jack Sparrow, and he's being told, "You are, without a doubt, the worst pirate I've ever heard of. But you have heard of me." And the meme is like the Denver Broncos. "You are the worst 8-2 team I've ever seen, but you have seen me." And it's like,
but you are 8-2.
So true.
It's just, well, you are what
so
you are.
true.
I keep saying, like, son of a bitch. Well, 9-2 now, I guess, but whatever.
Right.
There's another really mediocre team that's killing it too, and that's Philadelphia. And we keep saying they're not that good. But
I believe in Philly more than Denver, though.
I do too.
I will throw that out. One of the teams I can see getting back to the Super Bowl. One I can't see getting anywhere near the championship game.
Yeah, I would agree.
So that's the difference. But anyway, let's
if you come over to the NFC, Dex, you had a similar battle in the West that was really important with Seattle and the Rams. LA.
Yeah,
what did you think of that one?
So I thought that was a really good game of two of the best teams in the NFC, in my opinion. And they're in the same division, but all I know is that Seattle's defense showed what they can do because their quarterback, Sam Darnold, pumpkined like a mofo in this game, much like we saw at the end of last year for the Vikings. In two gotta-have-it games, Darnold did not give you anything. And so even with his worst performance as a Seahawk to date, 4 interceptions, and they were bad. They were like they were tip drills and bounced off the dudes, airmailed over here. I don't even know who he was throwing to on one of them. Like, it was repulsive to watch. Even with all that, they had a 62-yard field goal in regulation to win it that fell short and to the right.
Yeah.
Myers. And so I don't know if I learned more about the Rams or about Seattle, but I think I learned that Seattle defense is absolutely championship caliber. And but for half the mistakes not being made, Seattle would have beat the Rams in L.A.
Right.
So that's the Rams. I think that's a good team. I think it's a really, really good team with a good defense. And Stafford playing at an MVP level. Those are good teams. And Seattle showed me a lot with how they lost. So even though they lost, I don't want to mess with them. I think that's a team to reckon with come playoff time because they're going to get in. And I still think so. Pruitt had them picked to win the West. I think they're still going to win the West. And the Rams and San Fran, they're not bad teams at all. I mean, I think those are three good teams.
Division is stacked.
The AFC West. It's AFC West. And the NFC West, frankly, they're going to try and pump in 3 teams each, which is pretty cool. So that was a good one. One of the games that we thought would be more fun to watch, Detroit and Philly. I think we saw Dan Campbell again just take away opportunities from his team and take away field position from his defense and his offense, if we're being honest. But on third down, you're 3 for 13. Fourth down, 0 for 5. And some of these, that fake punt didn't fool anybody. They didn't even take their defense off the field. They kept him in saying, okay, we're not even going to put our special teams in. Gotcha. Looks like a punt. No, it didn't. Everyone knew it was, and that's what they were even saying on TV. And it's what we all thought. I was like, he's not punting. And weird, it didn't work. Terrible play. Screwed his team again and again and again. And they just kept putting themselves behind the 8 ball every single possession. Philly, how many times do they start on their side of the field? Hardly ever. They're on the Detroit side most of the time.
Right.
That was hard to watch because coaching kind of screwed them more than – I mean, Philly's defense, god dang, they look good. But they also got to always be running at them because they got the lead, and then it's hard to –
I mean, Dan Campbell's philosophy is just super aggressive to keep pace, right? Where Andy Reid is more like chip away and claw back in it. Dan Campbell's like just immediately like hits the red button. Just different coaching philosophies, and you saw the results. It can get out of hand quickly.
And it did. Oh, that's gross.
Did. And Dan Campbell reminds me of like if you're a Lions fan, you know, like everyone was like a couple of seasons ago when Dan Campbell started doing all this stuff, and everyone was like, that is awesome. Oh my gosh, look at him. He's fearless. He's going it's like, you know, it's kind of like the girl when you start dating the girl and it's like, this is kind of cool. Like she's a little crazy. I like it. You know, it was a little wild. And then you get married and it's like, okay, not so fun anymore. Like
we don't drink every night. Come on.
Right.
Christmas.
I feel like that's the Lions right now. If you're a Lions fan, you're like, everyone else is kind of like, oh yeah, that's cute, Dan Campbell. That's kind of fun. It's like fun to watch. They're like, okay, yeah, enough. We've got a team that's good enough to win here, and you are actively hamstringing us. And he really is. I will never deny the passion that he has, and I love that as a fan. I love the fact that he like believes in his team and all that. But at some point, you do have to have a little more of the, I hate to say Marty Schottenheimer mentality, but the Marty Schottenheimer mentality, in that it's 4th down and 2, and we're punting.
Yeah.
Every time, you know?
You need to have controlled aggression, though. Like, be on at least the other side of the field, or don't do your 25-yard line. Stop doing that. Like, that kills you when you don't. And then there's just the fact it was so many times. I feel like this game could have been competitive. I really feel like Detroit was.
It should have been.
I still think Detroit's the better team overall, like talent, top to bottom roster. But boy, and when we're saying Sirianni's a better coach, that hurts us to say because we don't like all his crap either.
Well, do you see what he did at the end of the game? I was like, what are you doing?
Again, it's like 2 weeks in a row. And last week he said, we'll learn from that end of the game management and play call. I'm like,
not fast enough, Nick.
Yeah, right.
Like, go back. Just watch your interview post-game last week.
Right.
Remember what you said.
Totally.
Brutal, though.
Totally.
All right, let's go to
So
some other
bad.
games. So we had Jacksonville steamrolled the Chargers. I think that surprised a lot of people because 35-6. Did you see that? Herbert, I haven't seen a game like this for what I think he had 81 yards passing, and then
Wow.
they took him out and put Trey Lance in. And I mean, it makes
Throwing the
sense. I
towel
probably
early.
would have too. But how on earth did you get down that far to Jacksonville? Woof. So that was an interesting game.
The Chargers, of all the teams that are ahead of the Chiefs right now, look the least likely to stay ahead of the Chiefs right now. Like they
Yeah.
do not look like a team that is rounding into form for sure.
No, they're losing all their linemen. And kind of what Pruitt mentioned earlier is like, hey, well, maybe the reason they won't, or that Herbert's passing so much is because they got to get rid of the ball and pass more because you can't run behind that. A la see Genty and the Raiders who can't run behind a line. Well, you can't even call it a line. Whatever. We'll get to that one in a minute. But what do you do when you have to always pass and your left tackle's gone, your right tackle's gone, your left guard's gone, and you got people just flopping into whatever position they can play. But that's not how the NFL works. And DNs eat those guys up, man. If you haven't been playing tackle at an elite level, you run into some of these guys. And I think the Jacksonville DN, he broke the franchise record for sacks against this Chargers offensive line this week. So, Hines Allen, I believe that was his name.
Mm-hmm.
So congrats to him. Golf clap. Great job. But man, it's just like a high school team going through like a middle school team.
Yep.
These highlights were not good for the Chargers. So old Harbaugh did not look like he's having a great time over there on the sideline. Another person who did not have a good time on the sideline. So Baltimore had to rally back against Cleveland, who started Dylan Gabriel and finished with Shedeur Sanders. And you still had to overcome it. Like, Shedeur had to throw a pick for you to be in this game to win it. I don't feel too comfortable if I'm a Baltimore Raven fan. I know you've now won, 4 in a row, 5 in a row? They've won a lot, but they don't look that good at all. And they're squeaking
Nobody else
by
in that division
teams.
does either, though.
That is it. I mean,
It's the I don't
fat kid in that division,
right. It is totally that is the epitome of the division of I don't have to outrun the bear, I just have to outrun you.
Yeah,
You know that's
like Cincinnati's not out of it yet.
no,
It's
like
crazy. And Pittsburgh is not terrifying at all. Pittsburgh zero fear. And yeah, they had a good week and they won comfortably. But if you're Pittsburgh, I don't even know. Do you want Aaron Rodgers to rest his wrist? He seems to have hurt his wrist this week. Mason Rudolph looked just fine like he always does because he's a consummate backup. I don't even know. I mean, Rodgers, I guess he's fine. I don't even know, but they just don't look very
is he
good.
though?
That's kind of my point. Like,
You know, I used to watch Aaron Rodgers for the throws and like what he was going to pull off.
yeah.
Now I watch Aaron Rodgers for the slow-mo cutaways
Man.
when they're going to commercial break because it's always something like
He's
you
got a
know,
snap going on.
It's always that side.
He's chastising a wide receiver. He's like,
Yo.
Yeah.
you know, that's what you get out of Aaron Rodgers now.
Yeah, this is the least scary division. Okay, one of the least scariest divisions in football right now is any of these teams. They don't strike fear into anybody. They've got holes on both sides of every team in that division. So I think that's what I learned from this week is just, God, even the good teams suck in that division.
That's a bad division.
All right, let's go to one of my favorite teams. Minnesota loses in heartbreaking fashion to the Bears. They stole defeat from the jaws of victory. Finally, they played terrible all game. But then they made the one play they did. One good drive. J.J. McCarthy hits Addison in the end zone. Like, there we go. That's all we have to do. It's just the Bears, for the love of God, just stop the kickoff.
Right?
No. They give up a 50 freaking yard kickoff return to put immediately in field goal range. A couple plays, clock goes down to 3, and just like the Chiefs game, walk-off field goal, and just like the Chiefs game, a bad special teams play set them up.
Yep.
Special teams still matter, people. They still matter.
They do.
Awesome. If I would just rather them kick the goddamn thing in the end zone and get a touchback.
Right. Might as well now, right?
Yeah.
That's come up a lot this year. I feel like we talk about special teams play every week, and
It is.
there's been a ton of blocked kicks we talked about several weeks back, and just a lot of
Yep.
good returns. People are kind of finally figuring out the new
Right.
strategy
Dynamic
with the new
kickoff.
rule and all that.
I like it.
And it's been exciting. There's been a lot of good
It does make it.
returns.
It has absolutely impacted the games and changed them from wins to losses and losses to wins on whether you can tackle and make a kick. I mean, what I think is either the Chiefs or the Vikings. I can't remember. One of the teams I like a lot kicked the ball out of bounds earlier this season. They got it at the 40. They went 20 yards, got a field goal and lost. I'm like, oh, this is so painful. You kicked it out of bounds. Yeah, it was, bud.
Right.
That's right. I have to remember which debilitating loss it was. I'm getting so many stacked up this year. Last year was kind of a fun year being a Vikings and Chiefs fan. This year is the exact opposite.
Not fun. Not
All
fun.
right.
Yeah.
And
Special teams, in the words of the great college coach Houston Nutt, special teams got to play special. And right now, especially on the defensive side of the ball, and honestly on the offensive side, I feel like I've seen more block kicks, more block extra points, more block.
It's been
there's
stuff
a lot
that
going
I feel
on
like
this year.
doesn't happen that often. And the one thing I do want to see more onside kicks, they've ruined it. Like
it's trash.
Like, did you
That's
see
the
the
next
one they
thing
did
to
last
fix.
night? It was like a punt.
What was that last
it was
night
a
in the Cowboys
safety.
game?
Yeah, it was a safety. I'll go to that game next. Let's
All
talk
right.
about it. So Dallas, Las Vegas. I feel like we saw a mirage in the desert last night because I still do not believe Dallas has a good defense. But then again, I wasn't tracking. They replaced over 50% of them. So 6 new defensive starters. One, unfortunately, for a reason that they had all the pictures up for. That sucks.
Yeah.
But the trades, they had the 2 trades they got from the Jets and the Bengals. So they got a linebacker and a lineman. And then just other people came back from injuries. Can they really be that much better just in one game? I don't know.
Vegas,
I mean,
man.
it's the Raiders, so I want to let you guys kind of pipe in on
I mean,
that.
I think the 3 of us lined up against Vegas this last week, and we held them to 7. So I don't know.
That's right.
Prue, you had a hell of a tackle at linebacker on Genty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not hard to go hit Gino. Good Lord. The line didn't block anybody.
When he's standing still, it's pretty easy to hunt him down.
I think it was the Raiders this year that they had the clip that went viral. I could be wrong, but I think it's the Raiders where they showed a breakdown of their line. And on one play, 2 of the linemen turned and blocked each other immediately. And then
That's sort of
they
what I
both
feel like I saw
blocked
last
each
night.
other. And then the other 3 blocked one guy.
Yeah.
So it was like...
And they all ran through.
I saw that clip too, Chiz, and it was like, is this possibly the worst pass blocking rep ever recorded? There's 5 guys that blocked one defensive guy total.
Yeah.
The guard and the tackle turning to block each other was the best thing I've ever seen.
I don't even know
So
how that's
good.
possible. But then
So
again,
I don't think their defense is any good. And the reason why is, I mean, you saw what the Chiefs did to the Raiders. The Chiefs,
Yep.
Chiefs do have a good defense. It's a top 10 defense. It's not, it's not making phenomenal plays right now. But if you compare that to the Cowboys playing them, I just think the Raiders are that bad, and it's hard for me to believe that because, like, you look at the Genty and Max Crosby's a great player, but
yeah.
that's kind of what you got on the Raiders. Like, what else are you getting excited about if you're a Raiders fan?
Bowers and Meyer are probably
Bowers.
a good tight end combo. They can both block. They can both catch. I mean, if they had any sort of lineman whatsoever, your tight end shouldn't be your best lineman. And that's not a good start when your guys line out wide, can block better than your 5 fatties on the front. I mean, that is terrible. God, it's hard to watch. And then you knew it was bad. If you're an Ashton Genty owner in fantasy, you've seen it. Because when you watch your guys, you're like, ugh, why does he always get hit in the backfield? He never has any clean lanes. He had one carry for 12 yards, and he finished 6 for 7 yards. Yeah, that's right. You heard me right. 6 for 7, and he had a 12-yard long.
And he took a safety because they handed the ball off to him like 4 yards deep in the end zone, it felt like. And I swear he had like 5 guys hanging on him, and he almost got out of the end zone. I was like, my God, did no one block anyone on this running play?
I feel like they did not.
I mean, that poor guy is really not in a good spot. And if you have him, and I have him on one of my fantasy teams, it's really tough because you want to start him, and we'll talk about this.
Yeah.
But you want to start a guy like that because he's just so talented, and he is clearly the number one running back. He's clearly going to get the carries. You don't have a lot of bell horse cows like that, and he is one. But you're going to have games where you go 6 for 7.
Yeah, that hurt. It was horrible. So hopefully you didn't get in on our action last night on that parlay because, boy, did Ashton Genty not come close to his 64.5. Way to go, Vegas. Thanks. Should have done 11.5.
He's only 60 yards short.
Just missed it.
Only 60 yards off. We were waiting for that one big 60-yard run in the fourth. It didn't happen.
Yeah, almost. All right, so let's take a turn back to fantasy. And we had another one bites the dust, Guillotine Graveyard, Rito. So Reed and the Goods. Been a very good team all year, actually. And he was one of the ones I thought was going to make a good run to the Final Four. Yeah. When you have a roster with Lamar Jackson, Justin Jefferson, Emeka Egbuka, Drake London, and then you still have Judkins and Vidal, pretty freaking good. And this week, all of them did nothing. Absolutely nothing. Lamar Jackson, an absolute turd burger.
Which never happens for him. That's what's wild.
4.72 points for a guy. I still call him the number one quarterback in fantasy.
He gets that on one run.
I know, 47 yards. Like, no problem. Now let's pass and get some touchdowns. But unfortunately for him, no touchdowns, 2 picks, and 193 yards of just a bunch of nothing. Terrible. Justin Jefferson, he was fine, 11 points. But again, you need your best guys to be better than fine. And Egbuka, same thing. 9 points. He didn't just crush you at the ankles, but 9 points. You need more than 9. So he got 20 points out of Jefferson Egbuka. Drake London is the only one that kind of shined for him. 7 for 119, but didn't get in the end zone.
And he got hurt at the end of the game, so he didn't even get the fourth quarter points.
Yep. So for the owners out there with him, we'll give you some sleepers here in a minute. And then you had Vidal and Judkins, so all the owners have those guys. You know how they did as well. 17 for 59 for Judkins, only 5.9 points. Vidal, 3.2 points. So he had less than 10 points from his running backs, 20 points from his top starting wide receivers combined, and less than 5 from your quarterback. That is a recipe for getting chopped. You have no room for wiggle. Like, any one of those probably could have killed him.
Yep.
But he had all of them. So unlike Chisholm, who ends up with like multiple Saints when he has a bunch of studs and duds, Rito had no Saints this week.
No Saints.
And he led the entire list of the sinners. So a bunch of duds this week.
A couple more notes on that. He had the second lowest point total of any team this year.
Yeah.
In a week.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I had more week 1.
Week 2. Yeah, exactly. Dex had 71 in week 1 and lost. And this was under 58 points this week for Reed. So just a bad performance. That happens.
To get under 58 at week 10 is unheard of.
Impressive.
Because you've got some super teams, and it wasn't because he started the wrong guys. He started the right guys. They just all happened to not show up on the same time, and that happens sometimes. But you just got to get yourself in the position to have the right guys and hope that they can perform.
Yeah, when you have 3 top 10 wide receivers in fantasy, you kind of expect to get more than expect to get a little more. So anyway, great job this season, Rito. Loved having you part of the league. Hopefully get back into it next year with us. And we'll get you back on soon, too. Do another spot. We'll let you kind of get over the punching that happens when you're in Geo.
He was also the high fab total in the league before he went out.
Yeah, he was really hoping Jonathan Taylor was coming available.
Yeah, he was really in a good position had he survived this week.
I'm not going to lie and say that I didn't want him to go out. I saw that fab total, and I was like, man, it would be nice if all of that fab went away. That would make things much easier down the stretch.
Yeah, for sure. There is one play he could have made last week, and I will throw this out. So this is the one thing I think he made a mistake on. You're the fab leader, and last week CMC came available.
Yeah.
And he didn't get him. He didn't get him. In fact, the team that got the high score this week did get him. Didn't even really need him, but got one more piece. Because we highlighted last week our in-game players. Number one, man, CMC.
Yeah.
It's him and Jonathan Taylor. It's 1A and 1B.
And you're right. When you had Judkins and Vidal, like, they're fine.
That's a need. That's a need.
Those are
though.
not in-game guys, though.
Right.
And CMC would have saved him. So 33 points or whatever the heck he had, 35 points this week. I mean, another team was terrible this week, too. And just by sheer luck that Rito's team was worse, his fat kid outran the other fat kid. And that's how we got there today. But anyway, so lesson learned, you want to save fab to get the guys you can get in week 11, like CMC, to save your season and take you to the promised land. So that's the only mistake I saw he could have made. So lessons learned, get good guys when you can get them, especially when you're the chip leader and you can bully people. So you should have gotten them. But anyway, moving on. So let's talk about who got chopped this week, Prue, and what should people do? We got 3 weeks left of bidding on players in most leagues. Who got chopped and how much we bidding on them?
Yep, so that's a good segue. You're right. We do have only 3 weeks left to spend that fab, so start ramping up your bids and picking those 2 or 3 players maybe that you still have your eye on that could round out your team, like a CMC, for instance. He was not among the top chop this week.
What?
He had a heck of a week.
Color me surprised.
Others, though, Josh Jacobs was the number 1 overall chopped player after a super rough week. I think Justin Herbert was second. We talked about him a little bit. Amon-Ra St. Brown was third after just an abysmal week by his standards. Lamar Jackson, Jonathan Taylor on bye, so a lot of teams did not survive that. They were used to their 3 touchdowns a week from Jonathan
25
Taylor.
plus points.
He was not available this week, so he got chopped in a lot of leagues. Jamar Chase with another off week.
Yep.
So a lot of those guys are in-game players, and many of them could be available in the leagues.
Jamar was he did add a lot of color to the game, though, with the spitting incident.
Yeah.
You know, Jamar is competitive, but maybe a little much with the spitting this week, and it may cost some fantasy owners. Because, you know, it sounds like he's going to get a 1-game suspension. Now what you got to worry about, if you've got Jamar, is when is that coming? And how do you plan for that? So if you've got him, you better be thinking about it right now, because it may not come this week because he's appealing evidently. I don't know. Like Dexter said, I don't know what you appeal. It's pretty clear you spit on the guy.
But slow-mo, it's still going to bounce right off Ramsey's chest, man. It doesn't matter how many times you go back and forth on it.
Can you enter the insanity plea?
Insanity plea. I was temporarily insane. That's your best bet. But if you got him, you know, probably over the next 1, 2, 3 weeks, one of the next 3 weeks, he's probably out. So think about that and plan for it.
Most of you guys have been through their bye week at this point. Jonathan Taylor just got through his, right? So all these guys are top performers. Any of those guys could round out your team well. Most of them, it's hard to spend more than about $85 on a quarterback. There should be one available that can easily serve as your quarterback. But if Lamar Jackson would help your team, maybe go get him. Otherwise, St. Brown, Jacobs, Taylor, Chase, all those guys are, you know, 150 to 200 type fab bids at this point. May secure those guys.
Those are in gamers, right? I mean, I would say
they're all on sale.
Everybody who, if like you said, Prue, I mean, St. Brown, Lamar, Taylor, Chase, those guys are all in gamers. Maybe not Herbert, but
he's not terrible. And
he's not horrible.
Terrible until this week. But I mean, even in our league, we got Jefferson, Igbuka, London, Lamar. That's 4 in-game players that are just sitting there, staring you in the face. And the thing is, like we talked about last week, the chip stacks are getting so low now for the fab dollars. All you have to do is bid one more than the next guy's guy. And for a lot of these people, that's not that much.
That's right.
So you get some deals on these guys. It's fun. You go into Dollar General now to buy the studs that you were
spending bargain bin.
$400. Yeah.
The pricing kind of, you know, takes a huge spike early in the season, and then it starts tapering off as teams run out of fab, right? And you're at that
Right.
point now. So these last few weeks, 200 will almost for sure win one of the end gamers if you have 200 available to spend. Sometimes you can squeak by with 120 or something for a guy that used to go for 300 earlier in the season. So
I want to throw out a couple real world scenarios for you and also help myself. So you guys give me some advice on this here. On my other league, not my Shrewdness League, I am still alive, and I am the fab leader right now. So I can chip whip some people right now, okay? Right now, I have $451 left, okay? The next highest person has 219.
wow.
So that's the scenario.
Two.
The following players are available, and I want you guys. This will be good real world scenario. Justin Jefferson, okay? Justin Jefferson is available. I'll give the listeners some context right now. The wide receivers I have are Drake London, who's probably out, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, Jacoby Myers, and Michael Pittman.
Yeah, you need a wideout.
And he's available. All right. He's the top one by far. And running backs, James Cook is available. Okay. James Cook is available. My running backs are Bijan Robinson, Rico Dowdle, and Ashton Genty. Okay. So what would you guys do in my spot?
I like Bijan and Rico. I think those are two good ones. I think you kind of already have two in-game running backs. James Cook could be more of a luxury, whereas I think if London is out and you're rolling with that B squad, B list wide receivers,
Stephon Diggs, Jacoby Myers,
I don't know if I feel real comfortable with that motley crew. That's the short bus showing up to the stadium next week, and I think you need someone with a little spice on around the neck. I'd be trying to get Jets. I don't know if you need to spend all 220. I don't think the guy with 219 will go all in on Jefferson. I think you probably win him for like 170. I would assume that guy would want to spend some money. He probably has some holes to fill too. So he's probably.
So here's the interesting part.
Bids.
The interesting part of who he has. Okay, so it's a great
That's what I was.
This is good context. So at wide receiver, he has Amon-Ra and Puka, and Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Oh, he's not going to be bidding anything. So what's next after the 219 guy?
And then at running back, he has Judkins and Jahmyr Gibbs. Okay.
Yeah, it's not a bad team. But who's third on the chip stack? So 219's next, and then what?
Third on the chip stack is 110.
There we go. I'd probably go 111 for Jefferson.
Yep.
And then James Cook, I'd probably just do a healthy, probably 150, somewhere in there. Because I think you can get both those guys, and if you get two for two, like that's pretty good. You'd still have some money left over.
He's got, what's his total?
He has two.
Second guy, 220.
Second guy is 219.
219. So if you went, 111 for both guys, you're guaranteed to get one of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes.
That's how I would do it.
Yeah.
But he's not bidding on a wide receiver. He's probably not bidding on a wide receiver.
But the other guy probably will, and 111 is not a bad price anyway.
Yeah.
And could you maybe get him for cheaper? Sure, you probably could maybe get him for cheaper, but who cares? You got 3 more weeks.
That's the key. What Dex just said there, I think, is really important, and for listeners to think about. 3 weeks left in the season at this point that you can actually bid on players.
Good.
So, they get cheaper each week at this point because everybody's fab's going away. So you don't want to be left with, I'm kind of at risk right now having as much as I have. I've got 451. I'm probably not going to be able to spend it all effectively if I don't put in some semi-aggressive bids. Because what you don't want is to get to week 14 and you're still got $200 left. It's like, bro, you could have improved your team, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I can have the top tier 2 running back for 200 or something just to spend all my fab, but you don't need to at that point. So
right. Yep. That's right.
Yeah, I think you see opportunity this week and you strategically bet to limit the chances of someone else getting those players.
Yep.
Yeah.
Take them away.
That's the other thing to think about. That's the other thing to think about is blocking.
Yes.
And that's something you got to be concerned with too, because these other guys are looking to improve. And if you're in a position of chip strength, take advantage of it. Right?
Yeah.
This is the time to lean on people. So that's good. All right, I just want to throw out a real life example. Let's talk about what you can do here, Prue. We've got sleepers, right?
Yeah, that's you. Lead it.
Who are some guys? I'll tell you guys. Who are some guys that we think right now? And we have this little segment. You guys may have heard of it. It's called Shrewdness Sleepers. And what we do is we talk about the guys that we feel like are going to outperform what the market says they're going to do. And so far, we've hit.
And they should be available in your league to pick up, just flat out off.
They will be available. We have hit 27% of these picks, which our target's 33. We're still a little lagging, but 27 is not too bad. And this last week, we got 1 of 3, which paces to 33.
Yep.
Dex picked Trey Tucker. Trey Tucker delivered with 14.7 points. So if you picked him up, you're happy. And he got you through last week, probably. Pruitt and I, not so lucky. Pruitt picked Mr. Washington from Jacksonville. And he delivered a whopping 4 points. So not what you were looking for. I did not learn from Dexter the week before, and I chose to follow his folly and pick Colston Loveland. And Colston Loveland delivered a whopping 7 points, which was 5 below what we wanted for a sleeper. So we got 1 of 3. Not horrible, but we'd like to get higher than that. So this week, this is probably the last week we're doing this, guys, because it's getting to be super teams and it's too hard to find somebody. So if you're one of those guys that doesn't have chips, you're sitting at the bottom of Fab right now, and you're like, dang it, I'm in trouble. I am not going to get any of those guys that you just set up because I don't have any money to get any of them.
Yep, because
this is where you go bargain bin shopping.
Jamar Chase. Can you spit on somebody?
I have Jamar Chase or I have Drake London, and I'm hosed for this week. I need somebody to get me by until those guys come back.
That's right. So this is where you're going to go. This is where you're going to turn to. So, Prue, where am I turning to right now? I'm in trouble.
All right, I'm digging deep. This is the time you got to kind of go out on a limb, take a chance.
And sorry, the criteria is it's got to be less than 50% in your league owned. So we looked at all the leagues, less than 50%, and we're shooting to get 12.5 points, which is hella high for these guys right now. So,
yes.
All right, there you go. That's the context.
So, yeah. So thanks for setting that up. I'm going to Green Bay this week. Josh Jacobs is a little banged up. I don't think they'll be able to run the ball effectively. And a guy that's been hurt a lot of the season and has kind of come back here recently, Christian Watson. Not my favorite receiver by any means, but he's playing against a Minnesota team that has been pretty decent against the pass, other than the long pass. And they've given up a couple big plays this year. Christian Watson is the deep threat for Green Bay. So it's kind of a flyer, right? But if you're in a position where you need to take a chance on somebody, Christian Watson could have a deep play down the field and instantly get you 7 or 8 points on one play. So, and if he managed to score a touchdown on that play, it could be more like 11 or 12 on that play. So I don't think he'll get a ton of catches, maybe 4, but I think he's a deep threat that could have some success against Minnesota's secondary this week.
I like it. You're always kind of rolling the dice with Green Bay receivers. Who you're going to get is the hot one, but I think it's good rationale for him, and it might as well be his week in Green Bay. So Christian Watson, I like it versus Minneapolis. Dex, let's go to you. Who is your sleeper this week?
All right, so I'm going down to the Dirty Birds, going south to Hotlanta, where everything seems to be a train wreck right now. They have likely lost Drake London this week with a PCL injury in his knee. Yeah. They have likely lost Michael Penix for the rest of the year, so Kirk Cousins is coming in. One guy Kirk Cousins likes throwing to is Darnell Mooney. So Darnell Mooney is being elevated to the number 1 spot in that offense. He's actually pretty good. If you just go back and look at his stats.
That's right.
He actually gets more than what you think. And if you have him as an owner, you're like, I know. Don't tell people. But I'm telling you out there, he's only 32% owned. And with all these guys getting hurt, we got some more people on buys. If you have Sutton, Chase, and London, you're feeling pretty good. You now have none of them this week. This I'm talking to you out here now, so you need to go get Darnell Mooney because he's going to be better than what you got. And I think at 32% owned, he's projected for 15 points. And I think that's very, very reasonable to get. I mean, 8 for 80 is not that outlandish against the Saints. That'd be 16 right there. So, or 14 right there. 16. Math, public math. 8 for 80.
16.
That's the worst.
16.
Public math is the
There we
worst.
go. So Darnell Mooney is my sleeper of the week.
Right? I love
8
it.
plus 8 is still 16.
It's still 16.
I was big
Okay.
numbers in my head. I was going touchdowns, going for 6 instead of the 8. I'm like,
That's right.
Carrying the
Yeah,
4s,
6. Carry the 1. I don't know. So I am going to go for mine to a guy who you're like, you shouldn't go to a guy who just had an incredible game. But I'm going back to the well. Michael Wilson, who had a 33.5 point game without a touchdown. You do not see 33-point games without a touchdown. So
Unless
that just
you get 15 catches.
15 catches for
Jamar Chase
100.
Wilson.
I mean, seriously, Michael Wilson. So, granted, he was the beneficiary of Harrison Jr. being out this week with appendicitis. So Harrison Jr. is probably going to be back. But here's why I think this is a right place, right time play. Brissett got his first start last week, and he clearly is comfortable with Wilson. So with Harrison coming back, I do think he's not going to put up a 33 spot, but Harrison will steal some of that. But I do think that Brissett's like, I got a guy, and I like this guy, and I trust this guy. He's a veteran. These guys pick that stuff up quickly. He's got a rhythm right now with Wilson. I think that continues at least for another week against Jacksonville, and I think he gets a touchdown this week. Less catches, which is not a bold prediction since he had 15. But I think he's going to have less catches, but I do think he's going to get in the end zone. So I like somewhere around 6 catches, 5 to 6 catches and a touchdown to put him over the 12.5 points. Michael Wilson riding the hot streak versus Jacksonville. That's my sleeper for the week.
Don't bet the
So there
house,
you go.
but bet a lot that on the under 15 receptions this week.
Bet a lot on under. If you could get that line on DraftKings under 15, I would put a lot on the under 15 this week.
Yeah.
So wrapping it up, our sleepers are Christian Watson versus Minnesota, Darnell Mooney versus
Saints.
New Orleans Saints, and Michael Wilson versus Jacksonville. Those are our sleepers. All right. Now let's move along to Sinners and Saints. Dex.
All right, we're going to go through these quickly because we kind of hit on most of them. And if you are the beneficiary of some of these Saints, you're like, I know. Tell me again how great I was with my guys.
Like my whole team.
Yes. So Josh Allen, if you had him, there's good Josh weeks and there's bad Josh weeks. This one was incredible Josh week. So 317 yards passing, throwing 3 touchdowns. But okay, just to make it ridiculous, let's run 6 times for 40 yards and 3 more, including 2 late fourth quarter touchdowns to put Tampa Bay away. And he had to come back to beat Tampa Bay. They were winning until that. So Josh Allen, 42.68 fantasy points, leading the way. Second, CMC. And I was beneficiary of him in one of my leagues. Very nice. So he had 13 for 81, 2 touchdowns. And as always, he gives you a beautiful receiving line of 5 for 40 and another tutty. So 35 points for CMC. And here's the sounds that were kind of fun. So I was kind of telling the boys at the beginning in our Patreon, these are not household names when you start going down some of these other ones. Sean Tucker. What? Who? Yeah, that guy, the backup third string running back for Tampa Bay, had himself a day in Buffalo. So 19 for 106 and 2 touchdowns, 2 for 34 and another touchdown. And man, did he look fast. I think he's trying to say Bucky Irving might be coming back this week or next week. He's trying to keep a few carries for himself, and he may have just earned them. So Bucky Irving owners out there, this is kind of a game you didn't want to see from Sean Tucker because he might have just kept, at least a chunk of the carries for himself. And Rashad White's still going to be there too, but Sean Tucker, 34 points if you had to throw him in there. Now, he did not save my beautiful wife when I had Sean Tucker flopped in as a fill-in emergency spot start for us that week, and I think he gave us 9 points. So
Yeah.
a few less. He got a few more this week. Michael Wilson, we just talked about him. 15 for 185. Unbelievable game. Tedroa McMillan, so rookie, put up, and I should highlight, this was Pruitt's spud of the week.
We don't need to highlight that.
So 8 catches, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's right.
You got the Chisholm. You got the Chisholm disease, Pruitt. You got the Chisholm disease.
The Midas touch on that.
Again, I failed
Trevion.
to take the anytime touchdown bet. So
I know.
Right.
The one time we did, they didn't get in. So I was like, this sucks. We'll just let it ride. It's more fun that everybody else can do it. All right, Trevion Henderson.
Right.
So amazing what happens when he gets just all the carries and Rafumble Stevenson's not around. Another huge week. 3 touchdowns altogether, 19 for 62 on the ground, 5 for 30 in the air. Trevion looks good. He looks like the reason everybody drafted him so high this year in leagues because we knew he could do this. I have one of those. I think I drafted him in too many leagues.
Yeah.
Bryce Young, if you had to do a flyer, and I don't know who you would have been benching. If you had Daniel Jones, like, oh my God, where do I go for quarterback? And you said Bryce Young. I don't know why you would have said Bryce Young, but if you did, he rewarded you with 448 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an overtime winner for Carolina.
Yeah, I'm sure all you had that. I'm sure you all had that over pick, right?
Yeah.
Bryce Young over 425. I'm going to throw a nickel on that. See how that runs.
Yep, and then Trey McBride. So in the game, we should just highlight this. Jacoby Brissett set an NFL record for completions in a game. An NFL record for completions in a game is none other than Jacoby Brissett. You've got to be
that in
kidding
trivia.
There's 25 between those two guys.
Exactly.
All
So
right.
McBride, 10 for 115 and a touchdown to go with 15 for 185 for Michael Wilson. What? That's incredible.
Well, when your starting running back is DeMercado, I think.
Yeah, who drops the ball on the half-yard line. He wouldn't be on my team anymore. I said that back in the day. Like, that dude's cut. You will never be on my team again.
For sure.
George Pickens. So he continues to deliver week after week. 9 for 141 and a touchdown. He's going to round out our Saints. And, God, George Pickens, free agent this year. Someone's going to get a very nice diva that can produce.
He is cashing in on himself big time, man. He is definitely going to make some money somewhere.
Even as stupid as Dallas is, they're not going to sign another humongously high dollar wide receiver because they're seeing how that's working in Cincinnati. It's like, so you mean don't touch my offensive line and don't add any defense, but I'm going to have 2 hella wide receivers.
Right.
Sure, you can try it out. Just look amongst other teams.
It's been played.
As long as my quarterback stays healthy, we should be great.
That's right.
That's right.
All right, the Sinners. So we kind of went through a few of them on the chop list, but Lamar, Justin Herbert, just killers. Flacco, if you thought he had a tasty matchup at Pittsburgh, it was not for him. 199 and just 9.86 points. Terrible. Sam Darnold, 4 interceptions, 279 yards. J.J. McCarthy, only 150 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. Those guys all killed you. Quinshon Judkins, so 59 yards total, so 5.9. Vidal, 3.2. Amon-Ra, the 2 for 42, is an absolute killer at this point in the season because Amon-Ra is one of those super high floor guys that we love in Guillotine.
And inexcusable to only get him the ball that many times. That was just ridiculous.
He had 12 targets and caught 2 balls.
It's insane. But just that Philly defense was just wrecking the Detroit line and just wrecking Jared Goff. He looked like he was on ice skates back there just trying to throw crap up. It was terrible.
I don't think I've ever seen double-digit targets and only 2 catches. Like that
2 catches. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Especially to Amon-Ra. That's a guy who catches a lot.
Absolutely. And he catches a lot of bad balls. So he'll make you look good just by getting it in the zip code. Jamar Chase, 3 for 30. We talked about that. So kind of a dud. Now he's going to be gone for a week. Again, we're not sure which one. It's either this week or a week coming up, which I don't know if that helps you or not. Ladd McConkey. So coming off a few really good weeks in a row. 3 for 13. That's a killer. So that hurts. Devontae Smith, if you felt like, Philly's maybe going to turn it around, here we go. 1 catch, 8 yards, 2 drops. It was a killer.
The Devontae AJ roller coaster. If you dare ride it week to week, you will never know what you're going to get.
That's right. And then the last one, Roma Dunze. I don't know if you can confidently start him anymore because this is multiple weeks of terrible. 2 for 41. And that's one of his better ones. 6.1. That's just, I don't know. Roma Dunze, DJ Moore, I just don't know how none of those guys seem to ever catch the ball. I don't know who's catching it really for Chicago because they're.
I don't either. It's not Colston Loveland either.
You look at Caleb Williams' line every week, and it's like, well, how does he have 240 yards? And you look at DJ Moore, and you look at Loveland, you look at Dunze, you look at Burden. It's like they all get 40.
Yeah, 8 guys for 30 yards apiece.
Yep.
And Caleb Williams looks like a rock star.
Spreads the ball around.
240.
Awesome. Thanks for spreading it around, man. So those are your.
Well, some of these guys, some of these centers, they have told you already. You know, like I don't know if you guys saw, but a couple weeks ago, AJ Brown said, and I quote,
"Yeah,
if you got me on fantasy, man, get rid of me." Like when the wide receiver is telling you to get rid of him,
yeah, you
know it's bad,
in his own
right? So don't keep riding these guys that are so inconsistent. You cannot have them in the playoffs. You can't have a guy that inconsistent in the playoffs.
Nope, got to trade up. Time to go get one of these guys.
One more center that you probably need to mention. This is hard to do. Khalil Shakir for Buffalo in a 44-32 game had 0.7 points.
Oh, that is hard.
1 catch for -3 yards in a game that Buffalo
scored 44. I don't think I scrolled down far enough the list to find a less than 1 point guy.
That wasn't on your radar?
I went to like backups. I mean,
I just happened to hit continue one more time or whatever, and I was like, wow, that is
ugh, that's brutal.
1 catch for -3 yards, and that was
your
a
number 1 wideout in Buffalo, and Keon Coleman wasn't even playing.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know how that happens.
That's bad.
Anyway, all right.
So we're on a bit of a cold streak here, Pruitt. We're a bit of a cold streak here. We got to right the ship.
Yeah. Spuds are. We'll see. 0 for our last 6. We did hit 2 in week 9, but this last week, like we mentioned, Teteroa McMillan suddenly woke up and had all of his catches from the last 3 weeks yesterday. So
yep,
he pulled down a huge game. Derrick Henry, he got in the end zone and scored over 20 points at Cleveland, which is really tough to do.
Yes.
They've shut down running backs all year. And then Stephon Diggs versus the Jets put up 19.5 points. So we were 180 from on the right track.
And again, anytime touchdown. If I pick him to be a spud, he will be anytime touchdown. Now, I used my powers for good this week because I knew I was starting Stephon Diggs. So I picked him as a spud. Got my touchdown.
No, you didn't get your touchdown. He just had 9 for 100. He just had his best game.
Close enough. Yeah. Oh, he didn't have a touchdown?
No, you finally missed your
anytime
touchdown. But
okay.
Don't worry, Pruitt and I delivered on anytime touchdowns for our spuds. So
that's true.
Derrick Henry was actually doing horrible. So just like Debo was horrible the week before, Derrick Henry was actually terrible until he ripped off a 60-yard run. And so
which he can do.
That's what he did. Yeah, so they made a missed tackle at the line. He broke through, the linebacker whiffed. And that's all she wrote, man.
And then good luck tackling that enormous man in open space.
Yeah. I feel like he was single-digit rushing yards in the first half. So that's where Cleveland had him. And then you just can't miss, man. You can't miss late in the game.
That's a 12-point play, right? 60-yard run.
Yep.
He does.
On your way to 20 you go. All right, so let's reset the clock. We're going to start over this week. We need to get back on track. We're below our 33% target for spuds. So this week we're picking players that are at least 90% owned that we feel like will probably not get you 12 points this week. So, which pretty much means no anytime touchdowns, Chisholm.
Yeah, that's right.
Good luck with that.
That's right.
See if you can do 2 in a row.
That's right.
Excellent. So this week, let's start out with Dex. Who do you like this week to be a Shrewdness spud?
All right, so I've watched Philadelphia's defense continue just to crush people and keep very low-scoring games and not many touchdowns. Javonte Williams for the Dallas Cowboys is coming to town after having kind of a cakewalk running through that Las Vegas defense. I do not think he's going to find it as favorable this week. Kind of a sort of short week for him, so the Monday night game, having to play on Sunday. Javonte Williams is going to be my spud pick for this week at Philly. Actually, it's home against Philly, but regardless, versus Philly. Spud.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good.
Yep. All right.
I like
that one.
Williams. Jiz, what do you think this week?
Okay, we just talked about Cleveland, and they do scare me against running backs. And as good as the Dallas defense looked against the Raiders, I feel like the Cleveland defense is going to look all world. So poor Ashton Genty, he may have negative yards this week. It may be one of those weeks where he actually gets tackled in the backfield like 3 times, and they're like, that's it, we're not running the ball anymore. 3 carries for -4, and we're done. So he's probably going to score a touchdown, but all the odds would say he is going to have a horrible week. So Ashton Genty, leave him on your bench. He's not going to score any points for you this week. Ashton Genty is my Shrewdness spud.
Predicted to score 17 points against Cleveland. I don't think so. So
Yep. All right,
totally in agreement there.
No. They may not get 17 fantasy points in total against Cleveland, the whole team.
Probably not. They might have 17 points worth of turnovers or something. I don't know.
Exactly.
All right, Prue, close us out.
So round us out for this week, I'm going to the Green Bay, Minnesota game. Josh Jacobs is looking pretty banged up. I think he may still play. It's looking like he might still play, but I think they'll take a cautious approach, I guess, is the easy way to say it. It's kind of an easy pick if you think about it that way. He's a little banged up. If he gets hit the wrong way or whatever, he may not even play the whole game. If they get up by a lot, he may not play the whole game. So there's a lot of different scenarios where he will not get his 12-plus points. So I'm taking Josh Jacobs this week to get you less than 12 as my Shrewdness spud.
All right, let's go gambling, Chiz. Hook us up.
All right, so for the year, we are 55%, which is still really good. We only went 1 of 3. We kind of got some rough breaks this week, but I made the foolish pick, which shouldn't have been foolish, but the Chiefs minus 3.5. You thought, that's a pretty good bet given their history in the last 8 years. Was not. They managed to blow that, and I missed my Kansas City minus 3.5. Dexter ran to the stink. He went with Green Bay minus 7.5 at the Giants, who somehow did not cover 7.5 against the Cam Scattaboolas, Jackson Dartless Giants.
Can't put away bad teams. They end up being 7.
They can't.
So if you by the time you heard our prop, I mean, the good news is that it was already at 7 by the time it came out.
Yeah, maybe you got a push out of that.
Yeah,
but
I did.
Yeah, I got
lucky.
I did not get the push, dang it. So I lost it.
Sorry, Chiz.
By the hook. But Dexter did deliver for you, and he's been hot lately. 4 of 5 with a Cleveland plus 8.5 versus Baltimore. And like he said, Cleveland just hung around. Baltimore couldn't. Oh, Prue did that. Sorry, Prue 4 of 5 and plus 8.5 at Baltimore. So after having a really cold streak, he is now on a heater, as we call it in the biz. So let's start out with him for this week's pick. Pruitt, what do you like?
All right. Not super confident in my pick, but that's why I like it.
Love the way we're getting it.
I see the game in New Orleans this week as a kind of a toss-up. New Orleans is actually favored, which never happens. And they're playing an Atlanta team that's kind of beat up, kind of, patching things together, so to speak. But like we talked about earlier, Cousins is going to take the reins this week. He's going to be throwing to Darnell Mooney and not Drake London. I think the wild card is that they have Bijan Robinson and the Saints do not. So I like Atlanta this week, and I'm taking them money line.
I like it because Tyler Shuck is still the quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. Last I checked, so that helps a lot. Although as a group, we continue to be burned by Atlanta. So I would.
I know.
Might as well do one more time.
We might as well go back to that well one more time.
This time it won't be bad for us.
It could be ugly early, and I don't know, cut bait while you're ahead, maybe something.
I like it. I like it
early if they get up, but I think they break their losing streak, and I'm taking a money line this week.
Let's do it. All right, Dex, let's go to you. What do you like this week?
All right, so it's going to be another smelly one. No one's going to like it, but interdivision game, Minnesota plus 6.5 at Green Bay. Because all I've seen repeatedly is Green Bay can't put away inferior opponents. Minnesota is inferior this season, unfortunately. JJ just hasn't been playing that well. The line hasn't been playing that well. Jefferson's amazing and still can't get going really to what we expect him to be. I just think it's going to be a close game. The temperatures are going to be in like the 50s, though, so it's not going to be really a weather game that we'd expect in mid-November in Green Bay. So I think everybody's going to be playing. I think it's going to be – I kind of like the over 2. It's 41.5, but I went with the close game aspect. 6.5. So keep it close, Minnesota. Lose in a horrifying way at the end on a field goal. Make sure you break my heart. We'll get a pick 6. We'll be up 4, and we'll like, no! So something terrible will happen. Minnesota will not win this game, but just keep it close for the love. All right.
Right.
Pism, what do you got?
Absolutely. All right. I got a stinky one as well, and I'm on a cold streak like I haven't been in a long time. Thank goodness my prop picks have saved me lately because my game picks are horrendous. This one, no one should ever want to pick this game, but New England looks like a howitzer. They look unstoppable. Cincinnati is a shell of a team who can't tackle. So what am I doing? I'm taking the Bengals at home, plus 7.5. Here's why I'm taking the Bengals. New England, I had a buddy that texted me this weekend after New England won because they are looking like the prohibitive favorite to win the East now and in the pole position to be the number 1 seed overall in the NFC East. And so he texted me, he said, good win for New England. Who do they have next? The all-girls team or the team that's visually impaired? Because if you look at their schedule, it is absolute dog balls. I have never seen a worse NFL schedule. They have played no one.
Yeah.
Like, it's the worst schedule you can imagine. That's who they play. So
it is the easiest schedule I've seen in recent memory for going down the stretch for like a November-December run.
Unbelievably bad.
Even before the season started, they were like 3rd easiest as predicted.
Yes, and which is
why, I mean, there's a lot of reasons that has played out the way it has. But anyway, yeah.
It's not good. So I don't think they've played anyone. Cincinnati can still put up points. I don't know if they're going to stop them, but I think they're going to run with them. So I think they stay within a touchdown. Cincinnati is, believe it or not, still playing for something. They actually still have a chance to win the division, and Burrow's getting ready to come back. So I think they are going to go all out, play really hard, try to win this game. I don't think they win, but I think they keep it within a touchdown and a hook for sure. So Cincinnati plus 7.5, 55% on the year. We've got Atlanta money line versus New Orleans this week. Minnesota plus 6.5 at Green Bay, and Cincinnati at home plus 7.5 versus New England. We've got all dogs this week. So it feels like a good week. Good week to get a sweep.
Dogs for the dog.
This is going to be a juicy parlay. Whenever you put this thing in, it's going to be juicy. So this is a yacht week for us all, ladies and gentlemen. It's a get right yacht week.
That's right.
That's our locks for the week. Dex, take us home.
All right, so as we go into this weekend, remember, we got you some sleepers there. Check the list of your players. So make sure Chase's appeal, does it go through, does it not? Got to find out, but you need to have a backup plan as you go in and bid on some of these players. Drake London probably out. If you got quarterback problems, you lost more. So now you have C.J. Stroud probably out, Penix out, Rodgers out. Well, maybe. Rodgers, I guess, is not officially out yet. But really look at the waiver wire. Do not spend too much money on a crappy dude for 1 week. When we say use your fab wisely, get someone real. Like get Lamar Jackson if you're going to do that. Don't go off and waste money, especially late. Like $10 now, that's a lot of money on a lot of these players.
Right.
So
that can secure you a number 1 whiteout in the last week.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Be smart about that. Check the weather on some of these games. As we saw, the weather impacts. So look at your stuff on Saturday and Sunday and look at the rain, the wind. We saw kicks flying all over the place. People couldn't make an extra point in that Jets game.
That's right.
It was atrocious.
That was crazy.
So just kind of be looking at that. And also, we have a good time doing our Shrewdness Power Parlay. So be sure to check our socials. We'll do the Island games again for Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night. So come join us if you'd like. And again, just do them individual, man. We keep getting little things like,
Yeah.
oh, you only got 2 out of 3 again. Hey, man, is what it is. But you would have gotten 2 out of 3 if you did them individually.
Right.
So just
Right. You don't have to bet them all at the same time. We say you can. So
Yeah.
we
It's just
bet
fun.
them. We bet them as individuals and parlays.
That's right.
But do what you want. But overall, we're hitting really high rate on the individual side of that for sure.
All right. As we head down to crunch time, good luck out there, guillotiners. Keep your heads. And until next week, stay shrewd.
Stay shrewd, everybody.